Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Sci. 8. Nuclear Galadriel. It's common knowledge that Galadriel is one of the most powerful beings in Middle-earth. However, the revelation of her power when she almost takes the ring didn't sit well with some Redditors. Turbo Bubby writes, I was never a fan of the special effects when Galadriel was tempted by the ring. She was supposed to be beautiful and terrible, but it always comes off as just green. It is indeed one of those cringe moments where one does wish Jackson would have reined in some of his impulses. Instead of creating this moment of sweeping drama, it comes across as being more than a little cheesy and ultimately just too much. Number 7. Legolas acrobatics. Legolas is one of the most formidable warriors in the entire trilogy. However, some of his stunts are a little cringy from the point of view of the Redditors. Cascadian Heaton 1, for example, identifies this particularly vexing moment. The part when Legolas is shooting the wargs as they charge and then he returns and does this really weird psychic-defying maneuver to pull himself up on passing horse. Obviously, it's intended to show just how skilled Legolas is. However, while it is very much in keeping with the book version of the character, it doesn't always obey the laws of physics and is one of those moments in the movies that just goes a bit too far to be believable. 6. Faramir's taken off the hobbits to Oxaliate. Given that it's an adaptation, it was inevitable the movies would make changes to Tolkien's book. While some of these worked, others were positively cringe and accomplished Duty 105 writes, I wasn't stoked how Faramir decided to take Frodo to Minas Tirith instead of releasing him as in the books. This particular move is cringe for two main reasons. First, it violates Faramir's character since he is one of the few who can resist the ring, and this is important to juxtapose him to his father and brother. Just as importantly, it is also a decision that is very quickly reversed, making the viewer wonder why he did it to begin with. 5. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. The Lord of the Rings is a trilogy that has many great lines of dialogue. Some are beautiful and haunting, while others, unfortunately, are both cringe and unintentionally funny. Legolas' exclamation is in the latter camp. The Turd Mama writes, that will never fail to make me laugh out loud. It's just so bad. It's not that it's a bad line in and of itself. However, it is just one of those moments where the movie threatens to puncture its own constructed reality, taking the viewer out of the moment and making them aware of the constructedness of the dialogue. Number 4. Gandalf bargaining for Saruman's life. Saruman is one of the best fantasy villains. However, his final standoff with Gandalf is a cringy one for Redditor Jormzak, who writes, when the movie suggests Gandalf was bargaining for Saruman's life in exchange for information, and that in fact his life is only worth said information, I cannot believe my ears. It still upsets me. This is in fact one of those strange moments that feels more than a little half-baked. It's clear that it wants to heighten the tension of the moment, but ultimately it ends up reflecting poorly on Gandalf's character and motivations, which is hardly what the movie seems to want. Number 3. The formation of the Fellowship. The Fellowship is of course one of the most important groups in the movies. It is the central importance which makes Elrond's announcement so cringe for many Redditors. Koala Gold, for example, writes, I've always hated how forced and cheesy Hugo Weaving's delivery of this particular line felt, especially after all that build up to it. Clearly, this is one of those moments which is designed for those who aren't familiar with the original novel, as it helps them to know just who the Fellowship actually is. At the same time, it is also an instance in which the movie is just too plain obvious for its own good. Number 2. When Aragorn kills the mouth of Sauron. Aragorn's laying of the mouth of Sauron is cold blood is one of those changes to the story that irks many people. Redditor Maestri Chat, for example, puts it this way, I get that it's supposed to be a hell yeah cathartic moment, but the idea that Honorable King Aragorn would just murder somebody who is essentially a diplomatic envoy just doesn't sit right with me. In this case, the cringe stems from the fact that the Aragorn has done is a fundamental violation of all the rules of war, and more to the point, it is also a betrayal of the central persona of one of the most heroic of Lord of the Rings characters. Number 1. The CGI transition to Rivendell. There are many great locations in The Lord of the Rings, and one of the most notable is Rivendell, which is a land of beauty and refinement. However, the transition to it from the moment when Frodo lies dying on the banks of the river Bruinel leaves something to be desired. As Redditor quick_steady9 puts it, the idea is totally fine, but I saw someone say that it looks like a PowerPoint slide transition, and I can't unsee that. This seems to be one of those cringe moments that is, at least in part, a function of the movie's age. Today's moviegoers are perhaps used to a different kind of cinema, and so Jackson's efforts can sometimes seem quaint by comparison. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.